Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here I would like to tell you about how to present your lesson plan in our online class. Okay, ya. Okay, this is the example how to present lesson plan in our online class. The first is you have to tell about your name. For example, the name of teacher is Dina Sophia SPD and name of school SMPN 1 Banjarmasin, the subject of course English, grade is the 10th grade, and then the topic for this lesson plan is come and visit us on chapter 13. The text type is short functional text in form of advertisement, skill, writing and speaking, and then the time allocation for this lesson plan is 1 times 15 minutes. Okay, for the core competencies, I think you don't have to explain about the core competencies because this is fixed from our government. And then for basic competence, here in this lesson plan, basic competence is taken from the government draft. For the short functional text in form of advertisement, basic competencies is 3.10 and then 4.10. And then for indicators of competence achievement, for 3.10, the indicator is to identify and then to describe, and then for 4.10, the indicator is to create and then to perform. This is based on the skill that the teacher want to do in our classroom. And then for the learning objective, there are two learning objectives for this lesson plan. The first is the students will be able to analyze short functional text about advertisement, and the second one is the students will be able to present their own short functional text. Here learning objective is based on the skills that the teacher want to have in the classroom. And then for the attitudes, focus for attitude, religious, nationalist, integrity and mutual cooperation. For the learning materials, this is learning materials for this lesson plan. This is for about advertisement, the meaning of advertisement and the example of advertisement. And then the principal, the teacher in this lesson plan explain about the generic structure and the dominant language features of the advertisement. And then the procedure, at the end of the lesson, the students can write short functional text about simple advertisement. Okay, for learning method, the approach is scientific approach, and then for learning model is CLT or communicative language teaching. The learning media that the teacher will use is there are 4 learning media in focus: LCD projector, poster, laptop, and textbooks. For learning sources, there are 2 learning sources actually. 5 learning sources. The first is Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan, taken from book, and then poster www.canva.com, and then module learning materials, internet, and some another relevant sources. Okay, I would like to tell you about my teaching and learning activity for about 15 minutes. The first is in opening activity. The teacher do this activity for opening activity for about 2 minutes. There are orientation, a perception, motivation, and then giving references. For this activity, in opening activity, the teacher want the students to have the religious character, and then the teacher give a perception or give background knowledge to the students, and then give motivation to the students to learn the materials. And then for main activity, for about 12 minutes, there are 4C, as you know that 4C and the literation activities. For the simulation, there are literation activities. In literation activities, there are some steps: viewing, observing, reading, and listening. Specifically for reading, the students are asked to read material from textbooks or other supporting books from the internet or related material. In this lesson plan, the material is short functional text in form of advertisement. And then next is for listening, the students are asked to listen to the material given by the teacher, which is related to short functional text in form of advertisement on chapter 13, page 257. And then at the end of the lesson, the students will be able to create simple advertisement, which is included in hot or higher order thinking. And then in problem statement, there are critical thinking. In critical thinking, the teacher asks the students for about 3 questions. The first question is what is advertisement, what is the purpose of advertisement, and how many steps for making a good advertisement. And then the teacher wants the students to be able to answer these questions. The meaning of advertisement is the generic structure and dominant language features, and the function and steps for making advertisements. In the data collection, there are collaboration and critical thinking as part of 4C skills. In these steps, the students are asked to explore their knowledge by reading reference books about how to make structured advertisement that is good, interesting, and precise. And then in representing activities, the learners do the following activities. This is the technique that the teacher want to use in the classroom. The students work in pairs to analyze the general, functional, and dominant language features of the advertisements based on the original poster. And then the students discuss it with other friends. And then after that, the students exchange the information about how to make a good advertisement. In the data processing, there is critical thinking, and then students in their groups discuss processing the observational data in way the students can know how to identify structure observe functional text about simple advertisement, how to describe short functional text about simple advertisement, and then how to make simple advertisements that are interesting and precise. And then in the verification step, there is critical thinking, and then in this space, the students present in front of class about their own simple advertisement. This is speaking skill. And then for the generalization, the students have to communicate with others. In this case, the students are discussing to summarize the simple advertisement that are interesting and precise. And then for the closing activity, of course the students have to make the summary to know about their understanding about the lesson today, and then to make them creative. And then for the teacher, of course, the teacher checking student work completed immediately, and then the teacher give award to groups that have good performance and collaboration. And the last one is for assessment, remedial, and enrichment. For this one, the teacher have 3 kinds of assessment. The first is affective for spiritual and social. You can see that for this kind of assessment, there is observation or journal based on the characters that the teacher want the students to have in the classroom. This is the character, religious, nationalist, integrity, and mutual cooperation. For the cognitive, the teacher use written tests, and then for psychomotor or the student's performance, the teacher have the rubric for the writing and for speaking. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation about my lesson plan. If you have any question or suggestion, please ask me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.